So Kenyon Martin, Sr., first off, congratulations to you, Kmart. Your son just got drafted. I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for the family. His son was a really big deal coming out of California, and then he made his way to Tennessee, my home state. So congratulations to Kmart and your family, man. I'm wishing y'all nothing but the best. Kenyon Martin starting his own podcast, and he did an interview. And I want to read to you guys a little bit of this interview that Kmart did. He said some pretty interesting stuff about the softness of today's NBA versus when he was playing and who he wanted to be as a player. He said, in today's NBA, there are no enforcers. You can't be an enforcer these days. The league won't allow it. You'll just get ejected. Also, there aren't really hard fouls anymore, and nobody is fighting. So you don't need an enforcer to run in and stand up for you guys. The NBA's evolution made the enforcer go extinct. They simply aren't needed. Today's players don't want to fight. They bark and get face-to-face, but they're all just hoping to see someone come over and break it up. I see a whole lot of guys acting tough and getting face-to-face, but never throwing any punches. A lot of these dudes have never been in a fight. They've been in the spotlight since they were a kid, and not many people are going to pick a fight with a dude their size. These guys don't want to fight because they can't fight. They don't know what they're doing, and they sure as hell don't want their first fight to be on national television. Also, so many of today's players are friends, so they aren't about to beat each other up. There are a few guys who seem like they can actually fight and who want that smoke. James Johnson is a maniac, and he's a black belt. He's out there looking for a reason to fight. I was watching him play one time, and he got into it with somebody. The guy pushed him. I'm sitting there thinking, man, that's the wrong guy to mess with. Leave that boy alone. The Morris twins are the same way. They're from Philly. They're ignorant, and they're always looking for problems. They want a reason to fight. I played against guys who were physical and who really wanted to smoke. Derek Coleman didn't take shit from nobody. I faced guys like Zach Randolph, David West, Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, and Kurt Thomas. They didn't back down, and I had a lot of respect for those guys. Here's where it gets really good. He said, you can't turn a porch dog into a guard dog, and there are a lot of poodles in the NBA right now. There were some guys like that back when I played, too. Kevin Garnett was a porch puppy, a miniature chihuahua in a Doberman's body. I told him that to his face. You're a porch puppy. All you do is bark. He never wanted smoke from me. I told him straight up, you better take your ass back to the huddle before I get mad. Dante Jones heard it. You can ask him. My approach to fighting was this. I'm not going to start something, but I'll definitely finish it. It's just like my approach to alley-oops. If you just let me be, we won't have a problem. But don't take it there because I'll finish it. Your mad don't equal my mad. I would tell people on the court don't get disrespectful, but here's the difference between you and me. I don't mind getting suspended. I've been there. I've done that. If you get out of line and start being disrespectful, I'm going to be on your ass. There were plenty of times where I pointed at a guy and told the ref, I'm going to lose it. And they'd say, who, Kenyon? And I point to the dude and they say, okay, we'll watch him. But just let us handle it, please. They know that I was a reasonable in there to hoop, but they also knew that I had no problem taking it there. It's a really good article. This is from basketballnews.com. Again, this is Kenyon Martin. And shout out to him. He's got his new podcast called Neat and Unfiltered. Neat and Unfiltered. And it is coming on the Basketball News Podcast Network really, really soon. And I'm going to try to get Kenyon Martin on my program too. I'm starting the podcast really, really soon, and I think Kenyon Martin would be a great guest to have on the program. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that one as I try to get Kmart on the show. You know, Kenyon Martin was a guy that I had the ultimate respect for. I followed his career from New Jersey to Denver and other places that he made his way around the league. Kenyon Martin is Kenyon Martin, if I went in a room with Kenyon Martin with the cameras off, I'm sure me and him would have some real conversations about life. Like Kmart, and later in the article, he talked about how he'd been in many fights, and he ain't won all of them. I haven't won all of my fights, but I'm never afraid of that altercation. Never afraid of that altercation, and I respect Kenyon Martin for saying that. You know, like a lot of these dudes in the NBA, and I watch it all the time. You know, me and my homies, we got like a running joke about the NBA today. The new guy from nothing is not the guys that make it to the NBA from the States. the new guy from nothing, the new tough guy of the NBA, it's the Joel Embiids of the world. It's the Pascal Siakams of the world. Those are the guys you don't want to fight with. And I know they're these big, tall, skinny guys, but trust and believe. And this one will sound crazy as well. I don't think Luka Doncic is looking for a fight, but there's a better chance Luka Doncic will want that smoke. I hate to pick on this guy versus a guy like Ben Simmons or Devin Booker. They're there to ball. And that's fine. You don't have to be Kenyon Martin to make it in the league. Clearly, we see a lot of guys getting a lot of more money than what Kenyon Martin made in his career without being physical. But I do think Kenyon Martin's on to something. And what he said about Kevin Garnett was very interesting. He flat said Kevin Garnett was a fake tough guy. He called him a puppy, that would talk down. And I've heard this before, by the way. Kevin Garnett was one of those guys, and we all know somebody like this. When he felt like he could be the bully in the room, he was that. But when the real bully walked in, he shut up. Now, I don't know this to be true, but it looks like Zach Randolph, if you remember that infamous clip of Zach Randolph at the free throw line with DeMarcus Cousins a couple years ago, and Zebo, and I'm from Memphis, so Zebo, and in my world, Zebo's from Memphis because he spent so much time there and continues to spend so much time there. Shout out to Zebo. He's giving back this holiday season to Memphis. I love that. So to you, Zebo, what up? I remember at the free throw line, we all remember when Zebo told DeMarcus Cousins, where I'm from, the bully get bullied. Remember that one, that infamous clip? And I think there's something to that, right? I think what Kenyon Martin is trying to say is everybody's a bully to somebody until the bigger bully walks into the room. And I'm sure if you saw Kenyon Martin, he was saying, he played against guys like Antonio Davis, guys that I'm sure Kenyon Martin would give it up to, right? But in his world, a guy like Kevin Garnett, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, he had a better career than Kenyon Martin's, right? Even though he was a better player than Kenyon Martin, when we talking about who's the tough guy in the room, clear as day, Kenyon Martin told Kevin Garnett to get the hell out of my face and don't do that again. Because he said, I'll slap you, take the 3 or 4 game suspension, and move on with my life. Because at the end of the day, I'm Kenyon Martin, and my respect matters to me the most. Now, again, like Kenyon, I'm not advocating for anybody to go out there and waste a bag on a fight. And the NBA is a lot different today. Kenyon Martin needs to acknowledge this part of it. With social media, what would have been a 1-game suspension 10, 15 years ago is probably a 15-game suspension now. Seriously. Because the NBA's got to see that product make its way around the internet 10, 15,000, 15 million times. Back in the day, because ESPN was a partner of the NBA, it was obviously in their best interest not to replay fights over and over again, over and over and over and over again, because you're hurting the product that you're a partner with that you pay for, right? Fast forward today, you got so many sites like House of Highlights and Sideline Sources and all these different ways people consume the product that don't necessarily have a working relationship with the NBA, I guess directly. You can't risk your product. You can't risk fights happening every other night and people thinking they can get away with a 1-game suspension. So you got to hit the nail over the head. And I do think the game is a lot safer place because of the rules that have been implemented by the end of David Stern's tenure as commissioner and definitely with Adam Silver in there. The game is a lot safer place. I wouldn't necessarily associate safer with better, but it's definitely a lot safer place, which allows guys to stay around longer, which I think at that point in time, it does make the game better, right? So directly, do I think the game is better because people are not able to hand check, get in people's faces and push and shove as much as they were in the past? No. But if we further that out, and if you're asking me, is the game in a better state because LeBron James is about to be in year 18, he's still the face of the league, his body still looks great, and he looks like he's still got a couple more years atop the league, right? If you're asking me if the game in a better place because LeBron's still healthy, because Chris Paul's still healthy in year 14, 15, because guys like that are able to play longer, then yeah, I would say, the NBA did right by getting rid of the physicality of the sport.